Is imagery and visualization the same thing?
No, it is a form of visualization, but full imagery should be like, it should be a practice, like a mental practice. So like if you were, I'm going to do it with like a more technical thing just because it's a little bit easier. Running also is part of this. But like if I were going off of triathlons, let's say you're trying to master a certain stroke, freestyle, breaststroke, whatever. You are like fully absorbed in it because I'm like, okay, what are you wearing? Exactly what are you wearing for this competition? Like what is your uniform? Okay, you're wearing it. Where are you? What does the water feel like? What sounds are you tasting the chlorine in your mouth? Like all of those things need to be like so locked into your brain, all of those senses. Visualization is more just like the movie of that happening. But I'm like, are you tasting the water? Are you like hearing the horn or whatever that's going off? Are you like, you could feel the chlorine burn in your eyes? Like it is like a mental absorption. And I think that's where like a lot of people like fall off is like they do visualization and they're just kind of like rolling it through their brain and they're not like so absorbed in like the sense part of it. And then usually like how I have athletes practice it is I'm like, okay, do this loop for like 15 seconds and then give yourself a 15-second break and go back and forth for whatever time you have, like 5 minutes even is good. I wouldn't tell someone like, I've read books and stuff where they're like, do this like 100 times. And I'm like, not everyone has the time to do that. But like,
Yeah.
if you can dedicate like 5 minutes even and go 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and you're that absorbed, then that's, I would say, good.
I love that. I'm sold on imagery. I feel like we often hear this about like elites. People like Michael Phelps comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Eliud Kipchoge, which is like the goat of marathoning, I think undebatably at this point. It's in Relentless, the Kobe's, Jordans, D Wades of the world. I feel like we often hear about these, but it's never been, well, I'm sure it's talked about, but it's not like an open discussion. I think you kind of hinted at this where it's like, hey, imagery, and people often confuse it with visualization, where this is like, you said it, like taste the chlorine, like what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. And I think the other thing about that is too, like I had a runner that we were like working on it and she was prepping for a race and she was like, it's going to be really, really, I think it was that July 4th one. It was gonna be really, really hot and the air quality was gonna be bad. And I was like, okay, well then that should be part of your imagery. And she was like, well, why? I don't want to like put that negative, like bad air quality in my head. And I'm like, yeah, but that bad air quality is going to be there. So like, yeah, it's not the most helpful thing, like, but you can't control the weather. Like it is going to be hot. Or like, if you have quad pain or something, that should be part of your imagery because you're experiencing that and you're trying to mentally prepare for it. Kind of like going back to what I was talking about positive self-talk versus like helpful self-talk.
Yeah.
Like it's not all, you can't visualize like the happiest thing because that's not going to help you if that's not what you're experiencing.
I like that about your approach and what you said. Like, often people think, or some even talk about like all the positivity, but like sometimes things are hard and rough, and you kind of have to acknowledge those things and be able to move forward.
Right.
And it's just a reality. Like sometimes we got to deal with the reality. Last follow up on the same topic of imagery. Mm-hmm. For someone that has a job and is working, family, kids, they can't do it, like you said, all the time. How often should they do this?
If you could do like either like sprinkle in like some short practices, like once a day, like if you can give yourself 5 minutes, I think that's great. If you can only do like one day a week and maybe dedicate like 5 to 10, I think nothing is better or something is better than nothing. Like if you have kids, like maybe when your kids are at school, you're like, okay, this is my like mental skills hour I'm giving myself on Wednesdays. And I'm going to go through my self-talk and I'm going to go through my imagery. Great. Obviously the more professional, like higher level, I would be like, well, we got to be doing this like daily. But like if you're running and you're at that like kind of pre-professional, like but not professional level, try to do it once a week and see how it goes. And then you might find also that like the more you do it, the more automatic it becomes.